I have to.
Hold on, I've got a message which I have to deal with. There you go.
Hello, brothers and sisters of the Briar. Professor Jeremiah here, and
Steve, Three Rivers, welcome.
and as far as we know, we're live.
Oh,
And
could be.
we wanted to welcome you to a Falcon Friday, the last one of the year.
Yeah, a belated one, but you've been on a good cause, haven't you, Professor?
Yeah, I just got back from Rio de Janeiro a couple of
Yeah.
days ago and had an excellent trip there and picked up another Dunhill, as some of you may have seen in a video I had, and had several good smokes. I didn't get to record them all, but I did get a few good pipes in on this trip.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is our Falcon Friday, but we're having one. We tend to try and get for the first Friday in the month, don't we? So we are a little belated. Well, at least we got one in for this year. But we are planning to have an invitation to people, Falcon smokers, to join us next Friday, aren't we?
Yes,
Is
we
that
are. So if you're tuning in today, we're not you're more than welcome to participate in the chat. I see Central Cal Piper has already greeted us. Hello, welcome to have you with us.
Hi,
And
Michael?
so we will we'll open it up next week. And as I've said before, now if you've already received an email from me before as an invite for Falcon Friday, you're already on my list. But if you have not, I will put my email out there, and it's simply professor.jeremiah@gmail.com. But I will put that down in the link below, and you can join in. Juris Piper, Happy New Year, gentlemen. Happy New Year. Happy Christmas.
Yeah. Hope everyone enjoyed themselves. I am smoking my Jack Hargreaves Falcon with the Algerian bowl on this occasion, and in it I've got Saint Bruno ready rubbed. And this is so tasty. What have you got
I
there,
can't
Professor?
remember. Is this one the Marrakesh? I never can remember. But so it's
Oh, you.
Jack Hargreaves still, but the bowl.
It could well be. I haven't got my code for just checking that over. Can't get in. And
I
what
have to confess, that's one thing of all my pipes being an avid, I wouldn't say collector because I just smoke them, but having as many pipes as I do, I'm I'm not the person for somebody to ask, hey, what's the name of this bowl shape?
Yeah.
That has never been me. That I know some people, they just rattle it off right off. I know in my pipe club we have one guy, Mark, if he's watching. Mark, he can look at a bowl and he can say right off the shape in the maker. He's great on even dating a Dunhill just looking at it. So I just, that is not my field of expertise, but someone like Mark, man, he can just snap it right off. But I just smoke them.
And what have you got in it today, Professor?
That's a good question.
Mm.
I loaded this bowl up at some point along my journey in Brazil, and I forgot about it. And when I was pulling it out to smoke it today, I was like, well, it's already loaded. So my guess would be this is probably whiskey from Brazil. So I it's a localized tobacco. Now, they have heavy restrictions. I just briefly touched on this on my last video in the pipe and pen shop, or the Expert of Pipes, as the name of the shop is. Uh, they have such heavy restrictions, they're not even allowed to import pipes unless they have a very special permit, and it has to be a permit with that particular pipe maker or company to import them. And now I was also criticized that I was by a friend that here I was buying a Dunhill and removing another pipe from the market in Brazil, because that's pretty much why the shop I was at, almost all their pipes are estate pipes other than pipes which have been made in Brazil. So
I can't see the chat room. Is it Michael there from
Central Cal Piper and Gers Piper.
And can the two gentlemen just tell us what they're smoking today?
Oh yeah, tell us what you're smoking if you're in the chat room, and we'd love to hear what you've got in your bowl today. So you said that my pipe shop has sold quite a few.
Well, they had to restock, and I checked with them yesterday because I did order some pipe tobacco, which has arrived today from my smoking shop, and yeah, they're fully stocked again now. So that's a Jack Hargreaves tribute pipe.
And I'll put that up there for everybody to see here real quick. I've got it up on my screen right now.
It should say in stock on there.
Yeah, it says in stock and Falcon Extra Jack Hargreaves tribute pipe. And down in the bucket below, you can see further to a request of Three Rivers and Professor Jeremiah. So
whoever they are.
Very nice of them. And it's not, which I always thought when Steve was saying my smoking shop, he was meaning my smoking shop.
Well, that's the thing.
But that's the name of the shop. And
yes, it's not mine.
They have a number of other pipes available. And if you don't like that bowl on the Falcon, they'll put another bowl on it for you.
Do you want to go on to the Falcon bowls while you're on their website?
We can take a look at some other Falcons that they have.
Well, I'll have a section just on the bowls at the top there. If you click on that.
Here we go.
Yeah.
They have a Meerschaum. They have several Meerschaum lines. I need to check into that. That's something I've been wanting to get, is a Meerschaum lined bowl. So.
Oh no, Dry Fly Fisher has got the Hunter Bowl. Oh, just hold it there.
Istanbul. I said Marrakesh, but it's Istanbul.
Yes. Well, what's the one to the left of it? Classic rustic. No, that's right. I've got the Dublin rustic, and I've got the Algerian. Is it? Well, and I've got one other which I can't think what the name is. But there's one or two people got that brandy, haven't they?
Yeah. So here's a few Meerschaum lined bowls, and reasonable prices, and the bowl will fit your stilm. So,
well, Backcountry Piper, Mark, he's got the Jack Hargreaves tribute pipe, and also what I was saying, Dry Fly Fishery 11, and he's got the same Dublin rustic and also the Hunter Bowl, which looks really good. I'm gonna next payday. I might treat myself to one to go with my stem there.
In other words, when the wife lets you have some money.
Oh crikey! I've got £7.50 on the windowsill here, which I've managed to squirrel away. So I'm saving up bit by bit. I have to check on my pocket and down the back of the settee for change. Oh, she's very generous to me. Yeah. But we do see Jack Hargreaves. I'll use the word ambassador for the Falcon pipe indirectly because he just enjoys smoking it. But there was another gentleman which we've talked about, and I mentioned on my last video with Three Rivers Piper about Alfred Wainwright.
Yeah.
Who did some guidebooks of the Lake District in England, in Cumbria. You see him there smoking not a Falcon, but he is smoking Three Nuns. Well, there you go with the Falcon. But whenever you saw him in a photograph generally, or on TV, or on one of the people who did documentaries on the BBC, it was the Falcon. And we've identified that bowl, but he does have another bowl he uses. But the one thing we're working on is that lip on the pipe. I think it's straight, but there's an argument that it could be slightly bent. But which I've written to the Alfred Wainwright Society in Cumbria, asking for information to come back. But probably most of them there of a certain generation won't even know what a pipe is. They'll probably see it, but what's that? You know, it's something they made a pyramid with. I think we've been there before. There you go. So yeah.
Al Piper said that he's smoking some Sir Walter Riley.
Oh, top man.
I haven't smoked that in many, many years. I was able to get a pack of that in Nigeria once. They had it actually up on the shelf at there was a Lebanese restaurant that we would go to, and they had a great chicken cordon bleu, but with the white gravy, white sauce on the top of it. But and I'm hungry. But anyway, they at this little store that is there at the restaurant, they would have always had Captain Black White, the original, and then every now and then they would have something else. And that time they had the Sir Walter Raleigh.
Well, that tobacco you kindly sent me, along with my Meg Gray memoirs, as well as the Merry Monk, was the Captain Black original. I really enjoyed it. You lit it, low maintenance. That was it, just all the way through, and I did enjoy it. But I tend to be quite Catholic now in my tobaccos. I have a sphere that I tend to stay within, and now and again I'll just pop across and I'll try that. And I was thinking along the lines of, I've done this before, famous authors and their pipe tobaccos. And there's certain ones I haven't tried yet, but others I have. You know, like Royal Yacht with Joe Simonon. I think is it Blue Capstan was J.R. Tolkien, but he also probably smoked Three Nuns because his mate C.S. Lewis used to smoke Three Nuns. But as I was saying, that one that Three Nuns that Alfred Wainwright had on his desk there, that was probably the Empire blend, I think. I might be wrong. Anyone wants to correct me, because it was a beige, and I'm colourblind. Because I'm in the war room right now, and I just picked up one of these phones to order lunch, and they launched a rocket on Russia. Actually, oh no, I can't say where it actually went. Let's just call it Russia. To Russia, but I can't say because it's probably big. It was a snack bar. Whose snack bar was it? I can't remember. Maybe Ali. I don't know.
Yeah, I see you've got a lot of post-it notes on over Colombia and Venezuela. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with the
good tobacconists, where you can get very reasonably priced Dunhills.
We're currently locating where all of the Dunhills are located in third world countries, so we can snatch them up at rock bottom prices.
I was going to say, I saw your film in that tobacconist, and you know, you should have been wearing a mask at least. Oh dear. Oh yeah, well the highwayman.
It's really neat. You know, I just showed a little picture of the man. Now I got to think of his name, Edison. That he was the worker that was in the back, and that the owner of the shop. He was so excited to tell me that Edison started working there when he was 16 years old, and that now he's 71. Can you imagine working in the same little shop for that many years?
No one will know more about pens than himself. But when you were struggling for his name, did you have that light bulb moment? Edison. Oh, sorry. Is everyone throwing up? Never mind. I'll be quiet now. And do you find people influence you with your tobacco? You know, someone you'll see someone on the video. You do.
Oh yeah, from time to time. I mean, if I hear something that sounds really interesting, but you know, for me, so many tobaccos I've already tried. I was thinking of So this is what I'm smoking today. Well, no, I got this loaded in another bowl, not what I'm currently smoking. But Uno, did you ever get some of this?
No, but been a few. You were the first one I saw put it up there, and there's been a few others. Did you? No, no, you sent one to.
I sent one to Jan, but yeah, I put this up too.
Yeah.
And I really wish, I regret not having stayed on top of this series. I would love to have had the other tens of this, and I think they've sold out relatively quick. So I would love to get more tens of that to try. It was a neat series and a neat idea,
Yeah.
and the artwork, the 10 artwork is just wonderful. I mean, it's pretty neat artwork, and I'm glad they didn't put all those crazy, this is going to cause you to, do whatever, lose a leg. I mean,
But it's a nice series, isn't it? Like you're saying that particular series. No, I say about people. I've just had 5 tobaccos delivered today, and I'm thinking why. And the first one was Bosun Cut Plug, which I thoroughly enjoy and have done for years. And it was Token Tommy and Uncle Phil Sellers, the two of them. I'm pretty certain that I was watching their reviews, and that was it. And a fine tobacco it is. Next one was St. Bruno, which I'm smoking now. And I've been smoking this. This was one of my first adult tobaccos. And I've sort of stuck with it like with Condor all these years. The next was Three Nuns. And it was only because with Alfred Wainwright, J.R.R. Tolkien, and C.S. Lewis, they've influenced me, all three of them, to get that, to order that yesterday. Next one was Samuel Gowith Navy Flake. Now, I was in some correspondence with Timber Drifter, who'd 1931, fourth generation. It's a Navy Flake. And he said how much he enjoyed it. And a bit of correspondence, I said, have you tried Samuel Gowith? And I realized I probably haven't smoked this for about 3 years. And I did enjoy it. So I don't like showing these things now. But yeah, so I got some Navy Flake. Oh, look. See, he's disappearing as we talk. And so he's at fault for that. And last but not least was Edward Hobbs. He'd been smoking some Ennerdale. So again, so there were the 5 tobaccos I got, and 3 out of the 5 were influenced by other people. Well, there you go. That I've been watching lately. I will enjoy all 5 of those. It's been a long time. I do know I definitely enjoyed the Navy Flake Samuel Gowith, but I can't remember the Three Nuns. It's the non nicer I've got anyway. I think it's a vapor, isn't it? Three Nuns, non nice.
yeah, I mean, it's great.
Yeah. But
I don't know the one that Alfred Wainwright would have been smoking. I don't know if that one had Perique in it or not.
Probably not. There must have been an alternative. But I know when I was smoking it back in the 70s, it was generally non-nice I was smoking, I'm sure. Well, there was a beigey tin, and that was it. I'm sure it was Empire Blend, and I think that's what was on the desk when you showed that photograph. But can we just...
I have some Three Nuns that's got some age to them now. I would say they've probably got at least 7, if not maybe 8 or 9 years of age to them. I need to pull them out of the cellar. I've got some Three Nuns that's about 8 or 9 years old, as well as some Escudo about 8 or 9 years of age to them. So
I just flashed someone, I don't know who it was, and forgive me. It's not that long ago, unless I was surfing around some old YTPC films. But I remember saying Three Nuns, and he said it was like one-dimensional. And I'm thinking perhaps he should have called it the One Nun. Oh, sorry. But there you go. But then again, sometimes, like with the tobacco, this is constant, the taste, the same. For me, I've got to say, for me, people have different experiences. I can like this, and I know the first draw is going to be as good as next to last. It is a good tobacco. And I don't know if you show up there, but it's just white ash as you go through. But this is already rubbed. I know a lot of people like the flake, but again, I don't find any difference. I just find this easier to pack that. So these days.
I will say, if Uncle Phil's watching this, he had mentioned to me about trying to find some snuff in Rio de Janeiro, and I asked at two different places, and none of them had it. Now, one of the places, the clerk speaks excellent English, young brunette, probably single, but anyway, she speaks excellent English. And when I was asking her about snuff, oh, she said that they don't make it, but she started talking about her grandmother and how her grandmother would grind it up because she liked snuff, and just started going on and on. So I I do have some whiskey and some chocolate, which I can send to Uncle Phil. And if when the wife's not at home, he can do a he can do a Johnny Scott and take his
Oh,
blender and blend it up.
yeah, but right. So you've got, sorry, just like some cocoa bean and coffee
Yeah,
bean.
it's like a well, I don't think it's just a chocolate. They had three different kinds of chocolate blends at the store. One was a cocoa, and the other just said chocolate tobacco. But again, because
Oh,
of all the restrictions, all the tobacco
sorry.
that they
Yeah.
had in Rio is all local, Brazilian grown tobacco.
I I can't ever remember trying snuff. I think my old friend, God bless him, Charles Edward Michael Penn Lewis, old boy, he used to enjoy snuff. He may have coerced me into trying some many decades ago, but I can't. I don't think I give it the full throttle. It's I didn't get it in.
I've told people, I've said before, I've not tried it. I'm not saying I never will try it, but honestly, a part of why I don't try it is because I think I would like it. And I know then I would get into all the paraphernalia as far as wanting to have little snuff boxes. And then I'd always want to collect another snuff box. I'd want a better snuff box. And the only snuff box I have is I couldn't resist getting looked, and now it fell apart. See, it's a good thing snuff wasn't in there, but I would have gone straight my tea. But it's a little Indian head
Oh yeah,
buffalo nickel snuff box.
a Native American.
Yeah, Indian. and you can see it is the real thing, but it's pretty neat. But that's
Those snuff boxes.
the only one I had, and I couldn't resist buying this one when I saw it. Um,
Yeah, those snuff boxes. I mean, I've looked at them in Chester in the silversmiths there on the rows, and they are wonderful pieces, works of art. Um,
oh well, I mean, I realize this is a fictional TV show, but in Downton Abbey, that's what Lord Grantham, he had in his dressing room. He had a display of all these snuff boxes there.
yeah, well, you can get the match. Like, there's a special name for it. And
Match safe?
yeah, but it's put your lucifers in, your matches.
Oh, my mattress it's empty.
Is there a special name for that box? No,
I
it's
thought
not a
it was
matchbox per se. It's something else, isn't it?
I thought it was just a match safe. That's the crest for the. Do you recognize the crest?
Well, the shield is London.
Yeah.
So I can't read the rest.
What's the city of London?
Oh, it is City of London, yeah.
And then you got your striker on the bottom. Now in my safe, I have an old family heirloom little match safe that's silver. So it's a pretty neat little match safe there. I
So
use that one, but the problem is you really can't get the size matches anymore that you need for the striker, and they need to be strike anywhere matches. And the only matches which I can get, they're just a little too large. These are strike anywhere. A little too large for the reservoir. There we go. And I'll use it.
Well, we're sort of in between Manchester and Liverpool. They're slightly towards Manchester, but towards Liverpool was on just going into the borough or city of Liverpool. Was Bryant and May match producers, which was quite a big factory there, but that's all shut down now. And even the Swan Vestas matchboxes, and I was just thinking then maybe they would have done, but they're now produced in Sweden, Sverige.
Right.
It's a different box. Yeah, and the bigger, longer matches. One could say more practical for pipe or lighting a fire, but it's just not quite the same.
Well, it's especially with the strike anywhere matches. It's hard to find matches and good matches these days. Even in Nigeria, you could still get matches, but then you could never find the strike anywhere. But the matches there were either from Sweden or from India, and when you would strike them, sometimes the head of the match would fly off, and you had this fire cascading through the house that you hope didn't land on anything flammable.
Vesta case.
That's
what the silver box is, I believe, a Vesta case. It just came to me and said Swan Vesta. So maybe if you look up the name Vesta, it's going to have some connotation to matches. It's a hub of learning, isn't it?
We've got Trucken Canada. I'm sorry, I'm probably butchering your name here. Gentlemen, happy New Year season. Question as to where to procure a Falcon for myself. Do tell. And we put that up. It's my smoking shop. I'll put a link down in the bucket below when we finish. As far as
may I ask a question to this gentleman? Which country is he in?
I guess Canada.
Oh yeah, I do Canada. Well, Mark's in Canada, and he's got his all sorted there now. And he was gracious to mention myself and yourself in his last video.
Let's see. I'll copy the link here and put it in the box.
Maybe it's a good time just to reiterate that we are having an official first Friday in the month Falconite gathering. So the 5th of January, 2024, that hurts. Where did that go? Starting roughly the same time, 5:30 UK, 11:30 Central United States, Canada, Central Canada.
11:30 here and 5:30 your time.
And
put the link up in the box for anybody that's wanting to check out my smoking shop. There's always other places, but they've been kind enough to do a special Jack Hargreaves tribute pipe for us. So that's been very, very kind of them to do.
They have. And the thing is, it's getting that bowl, that rustic Dublin, and matching it up with this particular stem. You can go searching, so all the way out of stock. Well, I've got the bowl, but I've got the stem, or I haven't got the stem, but I've got the bowl. Well, with my smoking shop, they have specifically got them all married up there under the name of the Jack Hargreaves tribute pipe. And if you wanted other accessories, there's plenty of them. But having seen that one of Alex's dry fly fisher, that Hunter's, it's like a beigey. Wow, it's a wonderful bowl. I'm going to have to invest in one for myself now.
Do you always use your little ring in your
Yeah,
Falcon?
yeah. I primed these up for this. Well, obviously it's this evening now where I am. I primed these up and I put the dry rings in. Well,
Do you
dry ring.
notice a difference when you use it versus when you don't, or do you always use it?
Well, as you know, there's been maybe a 50, well, it's a kind of 50-year gap since I smoked an aluminium pipe, which um, I now know it wasn't a Falcon because it was a different kind of mechanism. It was a lookalike, and I just didn't bother again. So I've only just taken it, well, in the last 6 months back with the Falcon, which I'm thoroughly enjoying. So I haven't smoked one without as yet. I just, the cheap enough, simple enough, keeps it clean. The maintenance on these, that stem just keeps it so cool. It is a cool smoking pipe.
I would say to somebody out there, if you order these, I would go ahead and order 2 packs of them
Yeah.
because 25, there's only 25 of them in here. Now, some
Well,
people I know say that you can, I think they say that you can use these for a couple of smokes. I
oh,
wouldn't use
crikey,
it for a
I
couple
do.
of smokes. I would only use it for one smoke and toss it.
Well, I'm using it maybe two, and
Okay.
but if you get a thin, uh, pipe cleaner, you can cut and make your own. You get a packet of these and sort of, but it is a bit of a, you know, an ordeal to be cutting and bending and what have you. If you've got the time, great. If not, I mean, they're not going to break the bank, are they?
Yeah, well, I was a good Scotsman for a while, and I would always cut my other stilms and
Hey,
and roll it
well,
up, stick it down in there. But I
oh,
tell you,
my
nowadays,
friends in Scotland now, being racist, told you.
but nowadays, I go ahead and
Oh,
splurge.
yeah, I don't even
since I'm not
understand
a
what you said.
since I'm not a pensioner yet.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's it. I am a pensioner. I have to be very careful. Yeah,
Well, you
yeah.
may have to send the wife back out to work.
Oh, oh,
Oh, she's
oh.
watching. Oh no, I'm in trouble now.
If I hear one of those phones go and it's the red one, I'm in trouble. Or I'm in trouble associating with bad people. Yeah.
So let's change the subject. Right now, I'm drinking out of my donut fryer from the village in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. And while you're in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, be sure and stop by and visit the Gatlin Burlier, where you can pick up some Cades Cove Cavendish that you can either use as an air freshener or you can smoke because it smells out of this world and tastes out of this world when you're smoking it.
Well,
Which
two
reminds
things.
me, I need to order some Country Squire maybe this afternoon. So if Dread Eye Tiger's watching this, expect a phone call because I know I've got a pound of it floating around here somewhere, but for the life of me, I cannot find it. So,
Well, two things. I've never heard you speak so fast. Oh, three things. I've never heard you speak so fast. Secondly, I still remember what you said. And thirdly, we used to have a radio program saying 60 seconds. And if you could speak without going back or duplicating or repeating yourself for 60 seconds, you won that round. And I think you just did. There's a good chance he may have fallen asleep anyway. Oh, they're not on about tobaccos again. Oh, no. It should be gone. Although that she doesn't snow, apparently, so she says.
Oh boy. Hey, well, now at least you're going to be in the doghouse,
Oh,
not
no,
me.
I said she doesn't. So she said. So anybody who's got information on Alfred Wainwright and his pipe smoking, old photographs they may have seen, a book they might have. So the main thing, we know the pipe, we fairly well know at least two bowls that he used. It's actually the mouthpiece. I think it's straight, but he smokes like Jack Hargreaves.
Yeah.
and it took us a while to establish Jack's pipe, but with the help of Dave Knowles, I had some correspondence with him and he put up a picture of Jack's pipe, actually just on the side on one of the shows that he put up. So yeah, we know for sure it's definitely that mouthpiece. It's definitely brown, and for sure a number of people have confirmed it's the rustic Dublin that he smoked most of. But like he did smoke briar, I mean a conventional briar pipe from time to time, as did Alfred Wainwright.
Yeah.
But yeah, we might do a little bit of a feature on Alfred Wainwright, might we? Did you put it? Oh, you put a picture up before, didn't you?
Yeah, I definitely will do a little feature. We'll have to do a little pith helmet matinee on him.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I think didn't he basically establish like 7 different zones for the Lakelands? So
Well,
I think it's a total of 7 books, isn't
oh
it?
crikey, this is contentious now. I don't know. It could be 12, it could be 9, but they're still used today. Everything he did was penned by his own hand.
That's what I don't know where it is. Somewhere I've got one of the books, and even if you're not traveling to that area, it's you can do some armchair adventures, I would say.
Oh
And
crikey, yeah.
I mean, it's really it's interesting, and he's so descriptive. It's really neat just to read the books, even if you may never go to the Lakeland districts. It's very interesting read, and he does. He kind of takes you along on the journey, and
Right.
You just don't get artwork like that this day and age. It's amazing the intention, the detail, the intention to detail that he put.
Well, I've just gone onto my phone to ask a question, and I've had a message from my son. Grandson was playing in a tournament today, against other clubs, and they've gone and won it. So he just sent some photographs. Oh, you can't see of them winning the trophy.
Oh,
But I'm saying he is training and playing with Manchester City, and he's actually with Liverpool as well now because there's no contracts, and City said we want him to stay here, but if he wants to train him with Liverpool, he can. So he's been with Liverpool for 2 months as well. So he's doing well. I shall ask Google about Alfred Wainwright. If you
just chimed in. He said, "Hey guys, I thought I would drop by and say hi. Did I hear armchair?"
Alfred Wainwright, how many books did he write on Cumbria?
Alfred Wainwright is the author of more than 60 books.
60 books.
50 books. But I think the volume in particular, I think those are maybe 7 volumes that he had.
Oh, yeah, this is purely on the lakes he did, because he did books on Scotland as well. Because one of the places he finally got to was Cape Wrath. But he used to go up to Kyleskew, above Ullapool there. And they used to get a ferry across. I mean, that was it. There was no road, no bridge back in the day.
And I think it was rumored that he only married because his bride had a car.
That she could drive and had a car. She was 15 years younger than he. Oh, well, he was already married. But he got, obviously divorced, whatever. I'm not quite sure, But yes, this other lady came into his life, and all of a sudden he had a set of wheels. I think it was a Morris 1000. If anyone wants to look what they are, yeah.
Did he ride in the back?
No, he was in the front. But I can't imagine that he wouldn't be allowed not to smoke. Who knows? Well, he was never not smoking, I don't think. Even when he was filmed in documentaries up on the hills, he invariably, the pipe, the Falcon came out and he was smoking. But I'm saying I've written to the society, Alfred Wainwright Society, and see what I can glean. But they are all volunteers, and what I know is it might take a while before I get any information back. But we'll
But
see.
it's wonderful to be out, hiking or lunting and smoking your pipe. And, I mean, what can you really not do? I mean, maybe scuba dive and smoke a pipe. I mean, Jacques Cousteau sure tried it, but,
Yeah, you could write. You could write a book on the water. You've got the pen.
Yeah.
You've got that
I mean,
special.
it's so, just it's wonderful to sit and read a book while you're smoking your pipe, or do do watercolor art, anything, and you're just smoking your pipe, and it's just you get in the zone. You don't even realize you're smoking away. You don't have. I mean, there's the number of times that I'm just smoking my pipe and I'm not even tamped, and I finish the bowl and I realize I hadn't even tamped one time.
You do get in the zone. I like reading. I like listening to music. Trying to order lunch and then launching something.
Dan Piper chimed in, said, "Hello, Professor. Hello, Steve. Sending well wishes for a very happy and healthy new year. Happy, gentlemen."
I'll second that.
Yes, Steve, I'm at work.
Who's that?
Dance Dad Piper.
Oh, is he, Josh? Well, I wouldn't have thought any less of him. I hope they let him take his Christmas dinner in with him. I believe you got the biggest Christmas tree, Josh. So word has it.
I was telling Steve yesterday about your slender Christmas tree. It looked like he had the Festivus pole with just a few short limbs around it.
Did you say Pied Piper was in earlier?
Armchair Piper.
All right.
Lurker Troy says, "Hi, fellows."
Well, let's hope they can join us next Friday.
Hopefully we can have a few folks in on next Friday's meetup, but that'll be on the 5th, and we will start at 11:30 Central Standard Time, and we will start at 5:30 UK time.
Yeah, the Falconites. One or two said, "Can I join you, even though I'm not smoking a Falcon?" Well, by all means, but I think we've got to restrict the live stream, join us in the studio type of thing to the Falcon, haven't we?
Yeah, we're kind of, maybe we'll do a special meetup at some point that's not Falcon restricted, but we do kind of want to keep the theme on the Falcon.
We could have a first degree meeting, couldn't we? Second and third degrees Falcons only.
I mean, we're not getting paid by the Falcon people, but
I did speak to them, and because I said, "You want to come on and talk with us and talk about?" "Oh, no, did not want to." He said, everything goes through our dealerships. So yeah, that was him. And
that's who you're talking to?
Yeah. Oh no, he didn't sound like he had a suit on. Not like he had a suit anyway. No, he was quite concerned. "How did you get this number?" "Oh, it's me. I'll get where,
Well, I want to know whether we can get oh goodness, now his name's leaving me. Well, I was gonna say either Uncle Phil in the Falcon suit.
Well, what an AI, Phil.
Of Uncle Phil in the Falcon suit. or Pipe Tree, Chris Treat. Certainly he can come up with a Falcon suit. Probably at the next car boot.
He's probably got one. He could just mix and match with what he's got. Chris, if you're out there, mate, I hope you're well. Hope you can join us next Friday in the room.
And who knows what he's turned up at the local car boot as of late.
Well, he's got his contacts, haven't they? And it's like the runners. If they've got anything, they put it on one side for him, get him over here. They know, gone.
Well, they had already, I mean, it's like people, I guess, when I was at the flea market in Rio, they already recognized me. And some people I would see, like when they would see me coming, they were putting pipes out on the table.
All right.
But I didn't see anything at the flea market that I was interested in. And they really want too much for them. You know, it's got to be a pretty good deal for me to get a pipe. At most flea markets, they want too much money for pipes. I don't know how Chris does it, but I guess he just has his contacts, and I don't know. He gets good deals.
So when you're at the missionary in Rio de Janeiro, and you take them on exercises. I mean, I think you mentioned you were building a bamboo bridge in the jungle when you were out there. You said you were on your way to the jungle, but I didn't get to see the bridge.
Well, we were in the jungle, and I started whistling the tune for the bridge over the River Kwai. And before I knew it, the other young men who were with me all started whistling along with me, though they didn't know the tune. And I could just picture, we're going to turn the corner, and some Brit's going to be there touring, and really wonder, if they've just ended up in Burma like your father.
With a Lee Enfield waiting for you, come round the corner. Did he? Yeah. What? Remind us of the tune, Professor.
Oh no, don't. Right now, Big Bob's whistling it, I'm sure, but
Is Dad watching?
well, if he's not watching live, he'll probably be watching later. And he now has a Falcon also. Maybe we could get Big Bob to join in.
Yeah, that would be excellent. He can tell us some of those stories about his sons growing up. Or catching a duck. We can get it first hand.
I think it is a goose.
Oh, fishing for geese. Well, I never elevated to geese. I only caught a duck. But no, I salute him for that. Catching a goose on a fly rod. No wonder he wrung its neck. He was a goose. I hope it was in season. Do you have seasons over there? If you can shoot it, you can eat it.
Yeah. You hadn't caught one of the queen swans, did you?
Oh, don't let me go in on that. No, we had swans. No, don't. I'll have to stop now. There's a certain element of people who will be ostracized. Yeah, they were going missing.
I guess they now belong to the king, don't they?
Yeah.
Did the swans accept that transfer of leadership?
Well, they used to, and they still have. Someone all dresses up with a trumpet and goes off and looks after the swans on the Thames there on behalf of the royal family, on behalf of what previously the Queen, and now one would assume King Charles III. Yeah. That's another touchy subject. Can we move on?
What a job. I mean, what's your job? Well, I'll look after the king's swans. I'm the swan keeper.
Yeah, it could be what it is. I could ask my mate Google, and he'll tell us. In fact, I've got a lady's voice on it at the moment. Yeah, I think it's about 9, maximum 12 books he did on the Lake District, Alfred Wainwright. We've had no one come on with that information.
Let's see, y'all.
You see, another author I've asked again with their society was Arthur Ransom, who wrote Swallows and Amazons. He lived in the Lake District. He smoked a pipe, and I can hear. Hello, Molly dog. Hello, baby. Oh, she's going under the chair. She's come and join me. She's under the desk. If that red light goes off on there, you let me know. We'll be launching a rocket.
Here's a recent picture of Big Bob and Trooper, and with the brim. He had to lay his pipe down to get the brim, and Trooper's very interested in it as well.
Very.
He had to check everything he caught. So if he was catching a catfish or a brim, she had to check it out.
Looks like a good day. So is that down at your fishing?
Yeah, that's at his fishing lake house, old family lake house, built in the 1930s by my grandfather and great uncle and great grandfather. He's the one that had to show him how to do the roof. So
My knowledge of the Americas is not brilliant. Where does Idaho sort of feature across? Is it central? North central?
a little more west.
More west, right?
Yeah.
Is that desert?
No. That's
Oh.
I guess kind of plains maybe area a little bit more. So.
Plains. So is it fairly well populated?
Oh, you're asking me questions. I don't have answers.
All right, moving on.
Let me get my other bowl here.
Well, I'm still on my first, but I have been yapping.
Well, this one did dry up just a little bit because it's been packed for about a little over a week. Let's see who else we have. Jeffers 58. Happy New Year's, fellas. Smoking some Star of the East. I haven't smoked that in quite some time. Star of the East in my Falcon, paired with some Irish. I guess is Irish tea like Irish coffee?
Oh, I would expect so. But I mean, Irish coffee, you've got the coffee, the whiskey, and then you've got the cream on top. So it sort of resembles a Guinness. And there's an art to pouring the cream on. I usually do it on the back of a spoon.
Lurker Troy said next to Oregon and Washington, northern Idaho has some mountains, and south is height rolling hills. Well,
all right.
I'm just that's a part of the country I've not been to, so I'm.
It sounds fascinating to me. There's so many things.
Montana.
Oh, Montana.
Oh no, I'm saying for me, Wyoming, Montana, the Dakotas. That's about as far west as I've been.
Well, Montana. Let's go there. Was it the Blackfoot River? Blackfoot.
And the Dakotas.
Is it Blackfoot?
Oh,
no.
Yeah.
Anybody out there? Anybody out there? Montana and the river, the famous.
You're testing my if we were talking about Africa, my geography is great, but we're though it's old because I'm going to say Rhodesia as you.
Oh yeah, I'm with you on Rhodesia. Uncle Ian Smith. But yeah,
I think I might have missed. I was afraid I might have missed. Oh, he said this was Dance's dad. He said yes, a very slender tree, but was a nice one. And then he said best thing was that the animals did not mess with the tree. And I wondered if that's why I had short branches, was so cats and dogs wouldn't be messing with it.
Messing with it. But anyone out there, Montana, Blackfoot, I'm just wondering that river. I just have this thing about the river Blackfoot, and it might be Black something. Well, back in the day, back in the early 1900s, it was a good trout river, and probably I would assume steelhead as well. But no, nobody out there with that info. Robert Redford would know.
Not seeing anybody popping it up there. I got some Uno now. This is my first Falcon. And I guess I should show Uno what it looks like. That's a plug.
Oh wow, that's always interesting.
Yeah.
Is that what that tobacco is?
Broke apart. But
Is that what that tobacco is? Plug.
yeah. Fresh tobacco. It's gotten a little dry. It didn't keep in this tin very well.
This is a good. Well, it's more like a crumble cake, Revo.
Well, I guess that's what you'd call this, as a crumble cake, isn't it?
Well, you're asking the wrong person, but I would have thought this is. I mean, this just falls apart. Really, just put your smoker's knife through it. It cuts so easy. It's not hard work at all. It's like almost like cigar leaf in its makeup, but it's a superb smoke. That's a Revo plug.
We're like the experts at smoking, but when it comes to the bowl shapes and the different tobacco textures, I can describe it, but I just smoke it. But
well, actually, I know what I like. But the thing is, when you've got your forum of Falconites, all this information will just come flowing back. Montana, the River Blackfoot.
Lurker Troy, he said Blackfoot River is good for fishing.
There it is. Well, you won't see it. Well, that's a famous river in my life. I've never been there, not physically, but I've visited it many times in my mind, because that was the river that was featured in The River Runs Through It.
That's where they were?
Yes. It was the father and his two sons.
Dry Fly Fisher says, stopping in a bit late. Happy holidays, everyone, and early Happy New Year.
Hi, Alex. Same to
I
yourselves.
don't know that I'd be able to do it this year, but you remember in 2020 going into 2021, I think, was when we did our New Year around the world. And I think Tree was with us all day long. I think he did the 24 hours, if I'm not mistaken.
He did. I think I may have visited, but not for very long, if at all. Like, there was Christmas and New Year. I think Phil was in there, Anchorman, along with you there.
Yeah, he was there for a while. You were in. I'm trying to remember I don't remember if we got Tabo in or not. We might have. I know we were trying to hit as many time zones as we could to bring in the new year. I know we got Glenn. Glenn was in there early on. And we still got to get Glenn in. It's just the time that we meet is not convenient for Australia. So that's the difficulty there.
But what time would it be convenient?
Right, give me right now in Brisbane. It is 4:28 in the morning. So that's why we don't see Glenn with us right now. I would think that Glenn is fast asleep.
I don't know. Won't be out feeding the chickens. Yeah.
I know that would be our friend in Texas.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
With his Russian chickens.
Oh, they were Australian.
Oh, that's right. Well, they might be Russian now.
Oh, they've not invaded Texas, have they?
You're right. They are Australian chickens. We need to. I don't know if he has a Falcon or not. We need to see if he does and get him to join us.
He would enjoy Arthur Ransom, I'm sure. He had the Nancy Blackett, Nancy something. He had a sailboat, and it featured in one of his books, the Coot Club, where we didn't mean to go to sea. And these kids, I don't know how they managed, but this boat ended up, beyond the estuary and out to sea. It was all, good, harmless, innocent, I suppose, fun. But I think some naughty boys had let the moorings go, to try and get back at this gang of the Coot Club. And all they were doing was looking after the bird life along the rivers there, hence the Coot Club, which is a water bird. Nancy Plackett. And he named it after, oh, crikey. I think it's something to do with Swallows and Amazons, Nancy Plackett. Although it's one of the characters in it.
If anybody's wondering, the tea that I'm drinking is Lapsing Shushong, which I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And it first was given to me by a fellow pastor that he said it tasted like Latakia. So, or Latakia, however you want to pronounce it. But he was right. And it's like drinking Latakia. But it's a wonderful tea. And since we were talking about the West, if you ever read Centennial, that particular tobacco is mentioned in the novel Centennial a number of times.
I'm sorry, I'm just doing some
basically one of the characters becomes so addicted to Lapsing Shushong that he is just like that is what he is living for, is for that tea. But I take the tea with me when I travel. That's what I take to Brazil, and I'm always drinking it. And so this is my tea of choice these days. And I don't think you've ever had any, have you?
Not of that.
I'll have to send you some.
Right. Well, this is my mate Google. So just have a listen.
Latakia.
I've just spelled it, how do you pronounce this? I wrote out Latakia, and she just said
Latakia.
So there you go. That's Google's version of how you should pronounce that word, Latakia. But it doesn't really matter, does it?
Well, no. I mean, I guess I don't know if maybe the locals pronounce it Latakia. I don't know.
I'd like to call it Latakia. I think it's got more romance to it, hasn't it? It's, got a bit of Latakia. It sounds like Latakia, Nastravia.
Oh, that would be in Italy.
Oh, it was Welsh I was trying to, but apologies to all our Welsh boys and girls.
And our Irishman has become a Welshman now, hasn't he?
Hold on. Oh, yes. Yes. He gets his new passport. Well, he's been living there now for a few months. Yeah. Shane of Wales. Lord Shane. He's got land up in Scotland. He's got land in Ireland. And now he's got land in Wales. So there you go. He's officially a laird in Scotland.
Yeah, I was going to say he's a laird in Scotland.
The land he's got there is 1 square foot. Seriously, and someone bought it, and he gets a certificate that he's a landowner in Scotland. It's just one of hundreds of thousands of square feet that people got certificates for. But yeah, officially it says laird on it. Yeah.
Well, I'm a lord in Sealand too, but
in Sealand, is that where the?
Oh well, that's somewhere between in the English Channel.
Oh, there's a lot of boats out there you can claim if you want rubber ones.
There you go. Well, this is one of the gun platforms from.
Oh, what you could do with one of those, eh? You actually own some of that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, Sealand, yes, exactly. It's they've made themselves independent, didn't they?
Right.
I
And
think with a good long range rifle and a good telescope, you could have some fun off one of those things.
well, apparently a lot of people did back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, today, if the wind's right and the tide's in a favourable position.
Yeah, Dry Fly Fisher says that he has his Uncle Jack pipe now, and
Oh, good on you.
yeah, so Jack Backcountry Pipe purchased a Jack Hargreaves special. Pilgrim Piper greeting from South Louisiana. Nice to have everyone, or nice to join everyone. I'm sorry, and hope all are well.
Alex, have you fished the Blackfoot in Montana? He'll hear that, hopefully. Was that Norman MacLean, and he wrote a book, A River Runs Through It, and it's of his, you know, coming of age along with his brother, set in the late 1890s into the early 1900s. And his brother Paul was a newspaper journalist, and he was known as a fly fishing journalist. It's a wonderful old true. It's got everything in it, you know, fun, tragedy, romance. And Robert Redford, I think he was a director and producer of the film of the book, and it is tremendous. Well, I've watched it certainly over 30 times. It's I've got a DVD of it. Wonderful, and the music that I've got the CD.
Parker Troy, he said he fished the Madison, but not the Blackfoot.
The Madison. Well, is that close? Is that Montana?
And that's out of, he'll have to tell us.
Yeah. But he said in the film, um, Paul and Norman were doing a favor for Norman's girlfriend's brother to take him fishing, which they did. And they were waiting. They found him eventually, passed out in this Tin Lizzie with this girl. And they said to him, there's three things we're never late for in Montana: church,
Do I
work.
need,
Sorry?
do I need the red card?
Oh, no. You could have done if I'd gone on to describe more of the predicaments of the brother. But no, we're never late for three things we're never late for: work, fly fishing, and church. There you go. And their father was a minister. Yeah. And when he was teaching them to fly fish, he had a metronome, tick tock, tick tock, getting them to get the rhythm when they were kids just learning to cast. There, I'll go back to sleep now.
Ron Hardcracker says hello, gents, or hey guys. I made it sound more.
Hi, Ron. Hope you're well, sir.
Parker Troy, I guess, in reference to the Madison, says South Montana, North.
Oh, right on. Oh, fantastic.
Yellowstone area.
In my mind's eye, that is the most beautiful part of the world. Never been there. I've read about it. I've watched the film, it became like the Blackfoot became quite an industrialized river, or dirty, and it's only in recent decades that it's recovered, to its former glories. So I believe. People can correct me.
And Dried Fly Fisher says he's been on the Madison, but not the Blackfoot. Beautiful country out west. Lots of wind. More than my tree lines, Michigan trout streams. So
I remember coaching a chap that was going out to Patagonia, which is a very windy place apparently. And I was coaching, and the 2 days I was coaching in fly fishing, it was blowing a hoolie. And like the lakes where I was coaching were empty, but we were out there and it was perfect conditions, to get the line underneath it and using the wind, and it was great. And he went out to Patagonia and he sent me some wonderful, correspondence of his fishing exploits there. I don't know where he was fishing, Well, I think Patagonia, there were fish introduced there from Lochleven, I think in Scotland, trout, which eventually it's the same metabolism. These brown trout eventually went out to sea as sea trout and came back as huge sea trout. And getting a 20-pound sea trout in some of those rivers is not unusual. And I think the record in the UK, and I'll be probably very wrong, but I think it's around about 22 pound, or it was, for a sea trout in the UK. So, you know, these things are like normal on these Patagonian rivers. There you go.
Does the taste change on the size of the fish?
It's not in my experience, but then I'll only when I'm out in the wilds in Scotland and I'm brown trout fishing, I'll only take, and I've said this before, pan size. If we fit in the pan, I'll take enough for what I need. The smaller fish went back, the larger fish went back, and that was it. There is a definite difference between your rainbow trout and the brown trout. Yes, and there's a definite difference between the brown trout and the sea trout, even though it's the same metabolism. You know, it's what they've been feeding on. You know, if it's like getting a lake trout, it'll be more earthy in its meat. But again, it's how you can cook them. But in fact, lake trout or loch trout, we used to purge them, you know, overnight in salt water. You know, it just purges the meat, the flesh, before you cook them the next day.
So what do you see as the best weight of fish for eating?
Well, it depends. Well, it's what you catch, isn't it? But maybe about, and I'm talking wild fish now. You know, if you got something 3/4 of a pound, you know, in those lochs, you know, that's kind of exceptional fish. You know, generally up there, because they can't migrate anywhere, that's where they are. It's all dependent on food availability. When I fished 1.5 pounds, sorry, 3/4 pound brown trout is spectacular. And again, it's what you eat. You know, if you got maybe 2 or 3 half-pound trout, you know, if you got yourself a good meal, oh, two of you probably got a good meal, add some bacon to that. Bacon and trout. Yeah, happy days. I didn't catch the pigs. We took the bacon with us.
Backcountry Pipe says, good afternoon.
Hello, Mark. Great to hear from you, sir. I think I did say thank you for our mention on his latest video. I very, very much appreciate that.
For sure. I didn't realize until you had sent me the link. When I'm out of country, I don't get to see that many videos. So I just happened to barely catch that one.
Well, again, can we say that next Friday we're having a live stream?
Yeah, we'll probably go ahead and wrap up our time here today. But yes, next Friday we will be live, and that'll be our Falcon Friday gathering. And would ask, if you have not received a previous invite from me, then send me an email. I'll put my email down in the bucket below, but it's simply professor.jeremiah@gmail.com. So send me an email and I will get that invite out to you. And for those who have been in the previous invites, I will resend that to you as well.
Can I just ask the fact we've got Alex and Mark to put that same question to them when they're out trout fishing? You know, I mean, you get what's their experience? I mean, I just want what's literally going to fit the pan, you know, and that's good for me. Oh, it might be Hobson's choice. You know, if you're going to go out and you're taking protein from the river and you need, you know, you've gone to be self-sufficient, you might have to take a larger or smaller. What, Mark and Alex, what's your experience? What, you know, on trout, what you take? Let's say brown trout or brook trout, cutthroat trout. They're all about, I think in the rivers and the lakes there, we probably work out about the same size.
Yeah.
Did I miss any? I think it's a
What's
tiger.
what's the largest you've caught?
Me, 14.5 pound rainbow. And would you believe the salmon I've caught has been up to about 9 pound salmon. I mean, but you can catch bigger salmon, but that's, I can only say what I've caught on salmon. Right, 9 pounds about the largest. But yeah, rainbow trout, 14.5 pound.
Wow.
And he went back. He went back. I mean, John, I know for sure had a 15 pound rainbow trout on because we're in a loch, not a huge loch. It was only about 5 acres, and it was a private fishery. And the chap who owned it said when she caught this fish, it was 15 pound, but she didn't land it. 4-piece Orbis rod, travel rod, in trying to land this fish became a 5-piece Orbis travel rod.
Backcountry Pipe said I find smaller or tastier, and that's what I've always found with many fish. I mean, mostly I've just caught catfish, but to me, the smaller the catfish is, you would say plate size is much better tasting.
Yeah, it's gonna be sweeter.
When I was raising catfish in Nigeria, and I just had small ponds, but when I was getting them to eat, and I mean, I think I've said this before here, literally we would scoop them out with the net, and within about 30 minutes they were on the plate to eat. So if I got a larger one, I would normally send that to the village chief or to somebody else, because I just didn't want the bigger one. I wanted a smaller fish. Just, to me, it has a better taste to it.
Well, I'll go with Mark there, say 3/4, half a pound, 3/4 pound. Generally in these locks, the hill locks, they're average about half a pound. That's probably 2 or 3 year old fish.
Lurker Troy said we have a couple of lakes that produce 40-pound browns. And Backcountry Pipe said 10 to 12-inch range. And he said, Drawfly Fisher said, unfortunately, most of the rivers I fish are catch and release only. So none make it to the creel for me. So that'd be hard. To me, I would want the option, because really, I guess I'm kind of, if I'm fishing, I want to be able to eat it. I don't know. I'm not saying I release a lot of them, but I release because I either don't have time to cook it, to clean it and cook it, or am not in a setting of doing that. But if I'm fishing, I want to be able to eat it.
One of the best, most efficient anglers I've fished with was a gentleman from Finland called Ismo. And he literally, he catch, it was the right size, it was caught on the head. He'd gut and clean them there and then, still in the river, and, wrapped up in his creel. And he enjoyed his wild fish. But from Finland, he grew up, on the rivers. I think they call them rapids over there. I think it's from a place called near Tampere, if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Well, I'm really hoping to get up to the Smokies to do some fly fishing. But, right now it's just finding the time to do it. But I know that there's some good fly fishing in the Smoky Mountain areas that they have groups, and they'll take you out and show you really the ideal places that are up there. So, but whenever I'm in the Gatlinburg area, I'll see a lot of folks out, fly fishing, especially between, there's a river that runs in between Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg, and you'll see a number of people out.
Yeah, where about on the system is that? Would you say that's the upper river, middle river?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
But I say in my book about having a guide, it is worth his weight in gold. You know, if you've never fished that river before, apart from safety, you know, it's putting on the money on watercraft where the fish are. And I say when Jimi Hendrix once said similar along these lines, when experience speaks, wisdom listens. So he's earning his corn for you. You know, you could be thrashing the water to a foam in the wrong place. And he can just put you on the money. And he can probably add to your casting, you know, techniques.
I was asked, I guess, where I was in Nigeria. I was in the central part. I was in Jos was the city which I mostly, I guess, worked out of, but I lived in the deep bush. So my village was kind of in between Jos and Abuja. Yeah, and I miss Nigeria. It's very pretty country.
Well, you've
And
just gone back there now, haven't you?
yeah,
You've just been drawn back.
I
It probably
traveled
won't
all
be.
through the north. I mean, I've been through Sokoto, which is in the northern part, and then Mubi, which is kind of in the north. It's more the northeastern part of Nigeria. So, and Kano, a lot of time spent in Kano. So
The thing is, things change in a very short space of time. You could go back there and you might be disheartened what you find. That's the challenge. And you might even say, I'll start again, but you mustn't. You know, that phase.
in 7 years' time, Nigeria changed tremendously. That I was absent for 7 years because that's when I was in Belize. And when I got back, a lot had changed. And around that time period, when Boko Haram raised up. So that ended my travels in the northern part of Nigeria, because just about every area that I had traveled in the northern part before was where Boko Haram was operating. And the furthest south I ever made it to was an area called Cross River State. And that is where, when I was in Cross River, I was helping another missionary that was doing a well project. And the most memorable evening is at night we would have a service with the people in the village area where the well was going in. And one evening, the people there, we were having a kind of a question and answer time. And one of the villagers, he said, I know that it's wrong to kill and eat a person. He said, but is it wrong to eat them after they're dead?
Num num.
First off, I hope you're not eating live people, but but you know, it's like, yes, you still should not eat people even after they've died.
Not knowingly.
No.
There's
And
been a
maybe
few.
I should end my talks on cannibalism there.
Yes, that was very good. That. Oh yeah. Well, we're going to have our tea now. It's num time here. Oh, Professor, thank you so much for your fellowship and hosting this meeting. I think we're probably as well. And just reiterating, next Friday, live stream, people will be able to join us in your studio on Zoom. And if they write to your email address, you can give them the link. And it's going to be 11:30 Central US Canada time and 5:30 here in the UK.
So, and definitely, we'd love to have you join us. You know, we don't care about the shape of your Falcon; just bring your Falcon bowl.
Yeah, and I won't be in the war room then, possibly.
You might be out on the river.
Or might be. Might be. I want to get some grayling fishing in. Yeah. There we go. Happy days.
All right. Look around the war room, see if you find some of, Uncle Winston's old cigars.
Well, I am, as you know, oh no. Uncle Clinton, did you say? I'm colorblind, red and green. Which is a red phone again? Lunch. Here we go. Launch is how you pronounce it, isn't it? So Well, thank you from me for everyone that's joined us, and hopefully see this a bit later and join us next Friday on the Falcon.
I had a few little comments here. Fished a lot around Elkmont. I've been to Elkmont. Never fished any. I've never fished in any Tennessee.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know I've missed a number of comments, but some of you can go back and read them when you watch this again.
I'm sorry, I haven't got access.
But hey, enjoyed the chat room and visiting with y'all for a little while. So we got a little over an hour, almost an hour and a half.
Oh, really? Really? Well,
yeah.
No yellow cards at this end, which is good, unless you miss what
I had a few I wanted to offer up, but
what, to the chat room?
Oh no, just to my co-host here.
Just to me. I did overstep the mark a couple of times.
All right, gentlemen. Well, I hope to see y'all all next week. Until next time.
Yeah. See you all the Falconites gathering. Yeah. Thank you for joining us and putting up with us for today, this evening, this morning, wherever. Okay. Till the next time.
And Happy New Year.
Yes. Happy New Year as it will be. Take care.
Till we meet again.
That sounds like a line from a film.
Don't know where, don't know when. All right, brothers and sisters.
Yes.
Have a blessed